Oh, hey, y'all. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back, y'all. My name is Elle, and this is my perspective. Okay, so let's talk about the not so good that I have experienced while being here in Merida, Mexico. This is mostly taking place in 2023, right? Let's get into it. So you already know about the 10,000 Mexican peso thingy thing. So that's a video. That's a whole video. So you can go check that out. Now, these incidents also, I did have my intuition letting me know, but I still went against my intuition. But don't be that person that be like, that's what you get for not listening to your intuition. Like at the end of the day, these are still things that are out and about here in Merida, Mexico. And even for people who have intuition, they may not know that it's their intuition. They may not even it may not even be a thing for them. So still something to be aware of, be mindful of, learn from me and my experiences. So in one of those videos, you got to see me walking around in the neighborhood and so forth and so on. So some of the fences are maybe like 4 feet, right? Because I'm 5'3", so it was shorter than me, but there are fences and people can stand on the other side. Sometimes you see dogs and you're like, can your dog jump that fence? Like, am I safe? Um, but dogs, I haven't seen any dogs jump the fence or anything or come at me. However, there was this man who was standing. Let me say this too. I am someone who I like to stay in my own space. Like I don't like to meet up with people, even if I know you and we've been friends. I don't like to meet up with you and go to your house or anything like that. We can meet out in public, right? If I shake your hand, it is like a business transaction or something like that. You know how in the workplace you got to meet with certain people, that kind of thing, like that. So business, I would say business stuff is when I'd shake your hand. Give you a hug is if I know you and I'm really comfortable around you, which is usually going to be kinfolk. Okay. So let's get that out of the way so that you kind of get it a little bit understanding. Okay, let's fix that a little bit. So the fence. So right, the fence, the gates, whatever, it was about 4 foot something, right? Like I felt like it was a good space betwixt and between. The man was standing on the other side. I was finishing up my grocery shopping, and so I'm walking back, and he is standing on the other side of the fence on in his property ness, and he has his hand out, and he's like saying hi, and he has his hand out, and I'm looking at this man and his hand, and I'm like, hell the fuck no, like I don't want to shake your hand, and so I'm just like, buenas tardes, and so he's just like hi, and he still has his hand out to shake his hand, and I'm like, does this man, I don't know, right? So don't take offense. I don't know if this man was there, all there, So let's say that as well. And so I'm just like, Buenos Aires. And so he's still just adamant about his hand being out and he's saying hi. So I'm like, shit, am I being rude? Because I don't know all the things, right? And I'm just like, I'm probably being rude and I don't want to come off as being rude, but I said Buenos Aires. And so I'm ready to walk past, but I go ahead and shake his hand, right? And as I shake his hand, why in all get out does this man yank me in, right? So he yanks me in. And I'm upset, right? I'm upset because the audacity, right? So I yank my hand back immediately. Like there's still the fence. The fence is closed, but I yank my hand back immediately and I have this look on my face like I'm about to fuck you up, right? And so I have my bags, but I'm immediately ready to throw my bags down and do whatever needs to be done. Yes, I do have some fighting in me. I do have some fighting in me, but so yeah, I'm just like, and his face immediately went from one of smiling and saying hi with his hand out to this not really a frown, but it was a like, did I do something wrong? Did I offend you? And so, yeah, yeah. So I was really upset when I went home, right? This is the condo. This is all, okay. Let me also say this. This is very important. All of these events that I'm about to tell you all have taken place after my intuition was saying that I needed to get out of here, right? All of these things are taking place. Okay. So Let's make sure that that is known. The only thing that had happened to me that I was just like some kind of way about was an Uber driver. I think I told y'all about that. An Uber driver. I had gotten into the Uber. I had called the Uber from Wi-Fi inside of Uptown Walmart because I was out of data, I was out of everything and didn't realize it. So I just went and used their Wi-Fi and called my ride and did all the things. And as soon as I get in his car, he's like saying stuff, but he's angry. And I'm not sure what he's saying because I don't have any data. And yeah, this was my first time like I don't know nothing about no pay-as-you-go plan. I don't know nothing about nothing, right? I'm brand freaking new. Like a lot of the things that I'm doing here in Merida, Mexico, I've not done it before. Like I don't live that kind of life in the United States. I don't have a pay-as-you-go phone. I don't use Uber. Like I have a vehicle. And then when I was living with my daughter, we had two vehicles. Like if one needs to go down, we're not even going to really be sharing vehicles. We're going to be calling Hertz to have a vehicle so that we keep two vehicles. Like it's not a, I don't, this Uber thing, all of these things are new, right? All of these things are new. This is a new lifestyle, it's a lot of new things, right? So anyway, the Uber man, I was like, I don't know how to explain anything. And he was clearly upset. That man is the only man that has given me a less than 5-star rating in the Uber app. So I don't have a 5-star rating because of that man. So anyway, moving forward. So all of these incidents that I'm going to tell you about have happened after my intuition said that I needed to go. Okay, so that one was one. Okay, so yes, I was feeling some kind of way. Of course, because I shook that man's hand. Yes, I have freaking OCD, but because I shook that man's hand, like I couldn't do shit with my hand until I got home. Like I couldn't even open the doors, the gate or my doors or anything with that hand because I didn't want to contaminate anything and I didn't know where his hand had been, which is why I don't like to shake people's hands. Like there's a it's a whole thing in my brain. Anyway, so I washed my hands and then I was just like, oh, and yeah, so I was just feeling some kind of way. Left that man's energy back there with him, but clearly I was feeling some type of way, so I didn't leave all of it back there with him because yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. So we did the pesos, we did the man. So now let's talk about some looking for places to stay, right? I did mention in one of my videos about one of the incidents. I'm gonna quickly go through it real quick. These are all intuitions and things that I don't normally do. Like I don't normally shake people's hands. I shook that man's hand and that's what happened. So moving forward, we'll do the surveillance camera on the house. I told you about this one. So me looking for places to live, I'm trying to get out of the condo and find another space to move into. And so once I set up something with him, it was the wee hours of the morning, right? So it's like 2 something in the morning. And I felt like, I need to go through, look at the pictures again, look through the pictures, saw the surveillance camera. And I'm like, there is no way for me, there's no way that the man could explain that he was not going to have access to see when I'm coming and going into that house. Right. And so the surveillance camera right there put it off. Like I was just done. I didn't want to see anything else. Right. That was me. The morning had come. We're texting and I'm like, I'm letting my mother know that, I'm not feeling good about this one. My intuition saying no, so it's probably going to be no. Don't have your hopes up that this is going to be the one. And so she's just like, okay, if your intuition says no, then it's a no. That's what she said. What I read was, if your intuition says no, then don't go. Right? That's how I felt when I read what she said. And so I'm still like, okay, so I'm setting up to get ready to go. The appointment was for a specific time. And as I'm in a different room, so my phone is on a charger, my phone stays on do not disturb and silence off, right? So I'm in another room and I'm getting ready and I come back to see that I missed a call. The call was from the owner saying that he needed to move the time to 30 minutes earlier. And so I replied back and I was like, okay, that's cool. Like he said, why? And I was like, okay, that's cool, which meant now that I needed to get in the Uber now instead of 30 minutes from now. So I did that, head on out there, and I am probably 5-ish minutes away, right? And so he sends a text and he was just like, OMG, like, you won't believe this, but I forgot X, Y, and Z. So I need to move the time to later. And I'm like, I'm here. shit, I'm here. Like I'm in the Uber. I can't just turn around. And he was just like, you're in the Uber. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to reimburse you and so forth and so on. I'm just like, it's not 20 pesos. Like I had to take a drive to get here. Like I've been in the Uber for a minute now. And so it's just like, okay, well, it's something like as soon as I get and do what I need to do, then I'll swing by in the truck, I'll pick you up, and we'll go to look at the place together. And I'm just like, F-U-C-K now. Like, I don't know you. I don't want to get in a car with you. Like, and I'm already feeling some type of way. Like, you got to understand, I'm already feeling some type of way. I'm already pushing my boundaries because I knew that I shouldn't be here anyway. But here's the thing. This is something about me. Say what you will. Don't judge me out loud because I might come for you in the comment section. No, I wouldn't. I'm nice. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. But sometimes I'm just like, people get strong reactions when you be like, my intuition says I shouldn't come. So I was trying to figure out wording to say without just being like, no, I'm not gonna come. But I don't know. I don't know. That niceness, like I'm trying to figure out that niceness. And I think that gets me in trouble a whole lot. So I'm trying to figure out, and I'm just like, no, 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 you don't need to come pick me up. Don't need to come pick me up. I'll just be in the area of where the property is. And so he's like, okay, cool. And so I get out and I actually see the property and I'm talking to my mom. I'm just like, freak, frack, no, And so I did end up sending him a message. I'm like, nah, it's not gonna work out. It's just not. And so he was like, no worries, it happens. And so yeah, I never met up with the man and I never went in to go see the property. But just keep in mind that there's some words, there's some things that is also in there, but that's the gist of it, right? So that's day one. Now, day one was no, like I didn't meet the man. My intuition said no, I still won't, right? That's nothing that's not bad. Nothing happened to me. My nerves did because of the Great Dane that I saw and the other dog that was running down the sidewalk. But those are neither here nor there. And so the next day, let's go to the next day. So the very next day, I spied with my little eye another property. And I'm like, ooh, let me go look at this property because it seemed like it was going to be a nice property, newly renovated and all these other things, right? Had a picture, all this jazz and task. And so I'm like, okay, let me see, let me reach out. And person reached right back out. And it was just like, I'm at the property right now. Like, what time works for you? And I was like, I need a little bit of time because I didn't just want to just jump in and go. Like I need to make sure that the people on my end who can be on the phone with me were going to be available. And so I scheduled a time and he was just like, okay, yeah, that's fine. That works out. So, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. So we, meaning me and my people that I haven't called yet, are going to go look at this property. But before I even get out of my condo to go look at the property, my stomach is like, I gotta doo doo. And I'm like, no, you don't. We ain't even ate nothing. Like, what's going on? And so I was just like, maybe I shouldn't go, right? Like something probably going on and I shouldn't go. But then I'm like, my stomach has had that feeling before, but it's just because sometimes I get nervous about doing things by myself. So I was thinking that that's what it was, that, the doo-doo feeling is really, I'm nervous about going to go do something by myself as a female. And so that was like, we're still just going to go. But as we're getting closer, I'm taking pictures of what I'm wearing to send to my mother and then to send to my daughter. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I've never done this. As many times as I've been out and about by myself in Mexico, I've never said, hey, this is what I'm wearing today. Like, what is that? The ride, the entire ride as I'm going there, I'm like, oh man, like these are nice places. Like the whole area was nice. So I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, I'm not sure. Like everything seemed fine. And then we took like the last two turns. I don't know. It just happened that fast. Like the last two turns, I was like, where the fuck are we? Like, what is this shit? Am I in the hood? I don't, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But I'm just gonna give it a chance because I really want to see this house, right? So I really want to see this house. I get out and I'm looking everywhere. Like imagine a color that's just gonna stick out, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Like it's just gonna call my name. Like I shouldn't be having to look for it. It should just call my name. So there were two houses that called out that were the same color, right? But they weren't the address. They were not the address. And so I'm like, did I get got? Like what's going on? Because the one house, Okay, so there was one. This house was not only like falling down, but it was uninhabitable, right? So I knew that that one was just like crossed out. Like that one was not it. It's not it. So the only other one that was habitable was that one over there. There is no way. I don't care if you met me with tea and crumpets, and I've never had crumpets before, and I would like to taste them. There is no way that you would have gotten me to get into that place. Like it was the right color on the bottom, but then the top was like it was like falling down. Hold on, guys. There is a phone ringing, and I don't even answer this phone, so I don't know how to hang it up. Let me just do that. Okay, so so yeah, I'm just like, there is no way, and that's not even the right address. Like, that's not the house. That is not the house. That is like the color of the house in the picture, but that's not the house, and that is not the address that I was sent. So I'm like, something's not right. I decide to walk down and look around in the neighborhood. And so I'm looking around in the neighborhood. I'm like, all of these houses are almost dilapidated, right? They're not. I have a certain style, standard, brand, and all of that jazzmatazz. The picture in the renovated house, that one was like, oh my goodness, we might be going somewhere. But everywhere in the surrounding was like, hell no, like, what is this? And then, like I said, this color that's supposed to stick out and slap you, it didn't, it wasn't the address. So I decide that I am done. I'm not feeling like I'm not safe. I'm not having any of those feelings. I just feel like I've been set up, right? And so I wasn't going to fall for any of it. So I decided to go stand at a store. There was a store right there, and I'm glad that it was there. But there's a store. We have a lot of convenience stores that are here. And so I just decided to stand at that store. It was a familiar brand store. So I stood there, called my Uber, and I was like, I don't want my Uber to take me back home because for me to get back home from where that was, I felt like because I've experienced this, some of the Uber drivers might pick it up, accept it, but then see how far it was going to be and then drop it, right? So I did not want that to happen. I wanted to go ahead and get out of this situation because again, I feel like I've been set up. And so to me, if I feel like I've been set up, it isn't that, haha, I played this joke and you're going to show up and nobody's there. I feel like, no, I was set up and someone is there. They're watching me, that kind of situation. So it was like, I didn't need to see who had set me up, right? I was just ready to go. So I didn't see anybody that potentially did this. I was just ready to go. So I'm standing at the store. I called the Uber. Y'all, the Uber said it was going to take 18 minutes. I only did it to take me like 5 blocks out, right? Like 5 blocks out because I had been in that area 5 blocks out. And so I was just like, okay, let me just do this whole thing right here. And that way, like the Uber should be here quicker. They won't drop me because I'm only going like a very short time once I get in the ride, like maybe 10 minutes max. I don't know how long it's going to take to get 5 blocks, maybe traffic or whatever. But yeah, and it's nothing that I was going to walk. There is no way in saying hell I was about to walk. Okay. So I was just like, let me just stand right here. So I posted up right there at the store. And I'm like, if anything, I felt like the store person would be somebody that could be like somebody that could protect me, right? So that's my thought. So people are coming out the woodworks. Like there's a barber right there. Somebody was getting their hair cut. They came out, they looked. Somebody else came out, looked, little kid came out and just stood there. It was just like staring. And so I'm like, okay, cool. It's cool. I don't know if I'm like the Americana. I don't know if it's, I'm a little darker. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. My hair was in an afro. It was in an afro, like a full afro, um, not patted down, or patted down just a little bit, but it still had its length, right? And so I'm just like, okay. So I'm just waiting. My family, they're on the phone, they're looking. I had turned the picture around so that they could see what's going on. I'm like, do y'all see all these people staring at me? People were coming out of their houses, just standing and staring. And I kid you not, I walked down a little bit and looked. They were down that way staring. They were all on the street in front of me staring. To my right, they were staring. If I looked the other way, they were staring. And I'm just like, y'all, this is gonna be a long ass 18 minutes, right? And so I sat there, not sat, I stood there, but I'm in this position, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna be here. You know, if I decide that I get thirsty, which is not gonna happen, I can go into the store, but I'm not, it's not gonna happen, right? So I decided to just stay there. And normally I'll do like a look where I'm just looking this way. But for whatever reason, I decided to look up. So I looked up. Oh my goodness, y'all. So you know how buildings have rooftops? Why in San FU's a lot? Um, there were people on the rooftops bent over the rails looking dead ass at me. And I'm like, so I turned the phone. I was like, do y'all see this shit? Like, the am I? Like, why are people staring at me like this? Like, what's going on? Now, the people who were coming to the store, right? If they were coming to the store that I was at, then I would say buenos tardes. You know, I'm speaking to the people who are right there within earshot to hear what I'm saying. And so I would greet them. You know, I'm not trying to be like the oogly boogly, like, what are you doing and why are you here? Like, I'm still speaking. I'm still being me. Like, that's just me. So I'm still speaking. I'm like, shit, y'all just all over the place. Y'all just staring, right? And so the Uber app, when I had called for the Uber wanted to pick me up from a street that was over to my left, which was fine. It was probably like 50 to 75 feet, right, from where I was standing. Um, excuse me, maybe they didn't want to pick me up on that street. I don't know, because when people were coming by, they were speeding really fast on that particular street. So I was fine to just walk right there. It was nothing that was like out of my way or anything like that. And so it was fine. So I decided to just watch the app and, you know, talk to my family and watch my surroundings. That's what I did. Then, guys, here's the funny thing. It's not funny at all. Here's the thing. So, my appointment, yes, I got there early. I tend to do that sometimes. So, I got there early. But when my appointment time came, when I told them, hey, him, whatever, that I was going to be there, that's when people start coming out of the house next to the house. And I was like, that house, that's the right color, but that ain't the right address. You know, that ain't the address that I was given, you know. And so when the appointment comes, two people come out of the house. And I'm like, look, do y'all see this? It is my appointment time, and these people are coming out. And then, guys, a motorcycle pulls up to that house that was next to the house, which is the color. It's the color, but it's not the address. So a third person now is getting off the motorcycle, parks the motorcycle and everything. So it's now three people right there at my appointment time. And I'm just like, no. Like, the hell is this? Like, was this a freaking setup? Because again, it is my appointment time now. I am one female, and you got three damn dudes. What is this? What is this shit? And so I'm just like, I just kept an eye on them, and I'm like, yo, these is probably the people that I'm supposed to meet up with because it's my appointment time, right? There's no way. There's no way in FUCK that I'm about to say shit. So I'm just minding my business, still standing right there, keeping an eye on them, looking around, keeping an eye on everything, right? So I'm like, nobody walked across the street to say anything to me. So it wasn't any of those situations. It's just, you know, I'm seeing it as though, what if I would have shown up maybe 5 minutes after my appointment and got out and like, hey, I'm looking for so and so, you know, all those things. But yeah, no, I didn't do that. So I'm just like, okay, my Uber is getting closer. Like I see my Uber is getting closer. I'm getting happy and everything because I've been outside for a while and my kinfolk is on the phone. My daughter is having a conniption fit because at the end of the day, like I'm her mama, right? And she's just like, I don't like this. I don't like this shit, like not one effing bit, right? And so it's just like, I'm okay. I'm good. You know, trying to be strong and all this other shit that I'm really not. Like I'm feeling some kind of way. But just like, no, 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 I'm good. I'm good. Like nothing's going on. Nothing was going on. But shit, like I don't want to be in that situation. So the Uber is getting closer. And as the Uber is getting closer, I see a lady coming from the other end of the street, which I did walk in that area a little bit, not as far as where she was. I walked like three houses down. I'm like, shit, I'm good. And turned around and came right on back, went back to that store and called my Uber. But she's coming from that direction, but she's coming from further down. And as she's walking, my Uber is getting closer. but she's walking a little bit faster than my Uber. And so I'm like, I I'm ready for my Uber, right? 18 minutes. I'm ready for my Uber. And so I leave my spot, right? Because in my head, I was like, no, 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 I'm not gonna leave my spot until that thing is about 50 feet away, right? And then I'm 50 feet away from where the Uber is supposed to be, and I'll just meet them that way. And I was a little early. I'm always like to be early or on time. So I was early. And because I got there to where the Uber was early, like the Uber was still down the street, the lady had approached me. Now, the lady is only speaking in Spanish. And so um, she's saying, hey, and then she was like, what are you looking for? And I had said hi, hey back, and I paused because I was initially going to tell her the address that I'm looking for, which is kind of like, hey, I do have a reason to be here because I am looking for this place. But then I'm like, who? No, I don't, I'm not explaining shit because even if she says, no, it's this creepy ass place right here that you've been eyeing, even if she did say that, I'm getting in my Uber. So I was like, no, it's cool. Waiting on my Uber. I'm waiting on my Uber. And so she then says, here's the thing that I don't know. She either said, I shouldn't be here or I can't be here. So I speak some Spanish, as y'all know. My daughter speaks some Spanish. And so we both heard something different. I heard that I shouldn't be there. And my daughter heard more like, I can't be here. But I don't know why either one of us why that would be a statement, right? Like, why can't I be there? But at that point in time, mi Uber, gracias. So I just got into the Uber and left. Like, I don't know why she was trying to say that I couldn't be there or shouldn't be there. Like, and she said, and she said the name of the colonia, and then proceeded to say, either you shouldn't be here or you can't be here or something like that. But I'm just like, girl, I'm gone. Like, I understand you came down here with your vittles and stuff, but I'm gone. And so yeah, I left. And the group, I was in a group, and so I decided to come back. And to me, I felt like it was my responsibility. Y'all know that I work with abused women and things like that. So, I felt like it was my responsibility to come back and in the group mention, hey, be aware of this location. I feel like it was a setup. Like I feel like I was set up, like, right. And I know that they don't know me or anything like that. Nobody knows me, whatever, whatever, whatever. And so somebody comes back and they're like, can you please explain? And so I explained, and I literally said what I just told y'all. And so I put all that. And so if you're in that group, that's me, right? And so I put all that in there. And so then it comes back, somebody comes back and they're like, so are you saying that the neighborhood was unsafe or that you felt unsafe? And I'm like, it doesn't matter too. I didn't say that, but I'm like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how I felt. What matters is what happened. It was a setup. It doesn't matter if I felt safe or not safe. At the end of the day, this advertisement for this place right here does not exist, right? That's what I'm trying to let you know, right? So even if you take out my feelings and how I felt, that house did not exist at that address. And so it's just some mess. And somebody came and they were like, well, did you actually text the person to let them know that you were here and that you were in the street so that they could come and, get you and show you the house? The fuck did you not understand? If I saw them come out of a house and one of them pull up on a motorcycle, what makes you think I am boo the fucking fool to be like, oh, here I am, come get me? What is this shit? And so I felt like I was in the wrong damn group, right? Like, what is this? I'm in the wrong group. And then here's the other thing. The energy that I was getting from a couple of them was like, your experience is not valid, or, to downplay my experience. And it's just like, to me, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. And so yeah, I did remove myself from that group because I'm like, I don't need y'all gone somewhere, gone somewhere. So yeah, I ended up just stopped responding to their questions and everything else because I mean, for real, like, did you not hear what the hell I said? Like, again, why would I send a text message? She'd be like, here I am. I see that y'all have piled out of that house next to this house, which still isn't the right address, but here I am. It's me. I've been watching y'all since before. Like, I don't know. It's just complete. That response that that person had said was 1,000% effing ignorant, right? So, that again. So we are in the condo. We are dealing with bugs. We are dealing with water issues. We are dealing with iguanas that are on the wrong side of the patio. We are dealing with this damn monster. I don't know what the monster is. The monster did eat a dead bird out of the patio. So, the monster didn't bother me so much, but, it's just things started getting to me, right? Especially those bugs, because to me, when I see bugs like that, it's like I feel like I'm not clean. Right. And so I feel some kind of way. And then the clutter, because I didn't want to put things in the cabinets. Like I got my damn dishes in the refrigerator. Like I don't know. I was feeling some kind of way, guys. I was feeling some kind of way. And the man with the hay, that one happened after it was, I need to get out of here. So that happened after. The surveillance camera being on the front of the house, that happened after. This incident that I just told you, that happened after. Um, Feeling like there was no support when I was just trying to merely have other women be mindful that, this is a possible setup and probably don't go to this place, and, again, no support. And it's just like, girl, this is Merida. Like, how could you feel unsafe? And how could you even have such an experience? Like, that wasn't their exact words, but just that kind of thing. It's just not cool. It's not cool at all. And, again, just the things and the people that I work with, like, just imagine if it was one of them and you're saying shit like that. Like, that's not cool. It's not cool at all. So, yeah, I ended up leaving that group and all that energy in that group. Somebody did come by and was like, hey, you did the right thing. Your gut instinct told you to get out of there, so you got out of there. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Because yeah, that y'all to actually see at the appointment time people coming out and then a vehicle pulling up. And yeah, somebody can say that it's a coincidence, but at the house that matched the color of the house, wrong address, but matched the color. The one that was the right address was definitely the wrong color, right? And then somebody else, yeah, it was just a mess. And I'm not here for all that stuff. And I do feel some kind of way. It's a bird. I do feel some kind of way. I feel like that definitely put me in a position where I don't want to look for a space as a single female, right? Like that was one of the times where it was just like, I'm tired. I am effing tired. And if I had a man, I would have that man come with me to look for a space, right? So that was one of the things because at the end of the day, the men um that would be around are not skinny people. Not to say that a skinny person couldn't, but if you're smaller than me, like I don't know what that image is going to look like. But some if the man is there, there's from my it is more likely that a man is fine with targeting a female, but a man will not be so quick. It takes a certain kind of man to be willing to deal with another man, right? Most of them will look at a female and be like, I got this. But if they see the female with a man, be like, you know what, let's just wait for it's a lot of single females, let's just wait for a female, or it's just even I think even with two females, it could still be like, yeah, we could probably take something or do something or make something happen. But yeah, I don't know. So again, just feeling some kind of way. And I mean, I think that is probably, yeah, I think I did the video right after that when I was just like, I gotta get the hell out of Merida, Mexico, and I'm not bringing my ass back. Like there is no effing way. And to this day, like let me say this. It's not that I don't like Merida, Mexico, but I still am like, how the hell am I gonna find my next space? Because like I don't want to do it by myself. I don't want to pull another female into anything, but there's no way in hell that I'm gonna find it by myself. And I know that it doesn't matter what country you go to, I'm still gonna want a man to be right there by my side, and it's just like so yeah, that right there. That there. And I'm not, let me also put this out there. To have a man by your side does not mean that you still won't get got, right? It doesn't mean that you won't get conned. It doesn't mean that, that house belongs to that person. It doesn't mean any of those things, but it just means that number one, I would feel safer. And number two, people who want to play games usually won't play games when a solid man is standing right there, right? They're gonna think twice and be like, you know what? Let's just try the next one, right? So that right there. Okay, so again, all these things are just in play. And so that's when I did a video. And I don't really remember all of what I said, but I knew that I was at my breaking point, right? I was at my breaking point. So that's that. Another thing that I want to mention, this has not happened to me. This is something that I read about, and I want to make sure that people are aware of. So excuse me, pardon me. So we have different ride shares. We have Uber, we have taxis, we have Didi. We probably have other things that I don't know about. I've not used Uber until I got here to Merida, Mexico. I did not use Uber in the United States, right? We had our vehicles. We, sorry, not we. I downloaded the Uber app, but I did not use it in Cancun, of course. I took the bus from Cancun to Playa del Carmen. Playa del Carmen uses taxis, so I did not use the Uber there. And so then when I got to Merida, I had the Uber app and it was downloaded, but I couldn't get it to work. Like, I don't know what had happened, but I couldn't get it to work. And so I ended up just using a taxi. So I have used one taxi driver, no problemo at all. And then other times have been Uber. And only the one issue is the one I told you where I ran out of data. I have no idea what that man said, but I knew he was really mad and I know he marked my stars down. So that's all I know about those experiences. But this is something that I did read. It's not my experience, but I did read and I want to pass it on. So when you do get in Ubers, I have experienced this. When you do get in Ubers, you'll have some drivers that want to ask you questions. Hey, how are you? Are you visiting? Do you like it here? Do you have favorite foods? Do you have something that you really like? All those things. They'll ask those things. Two Uber drivers have asked even more personal questions. Are you here by yourself? Did you come here with family? And all these things, but they flow it in, right? Like, what's your favorite foods? And have you been here? And have you tried this kind of food? Do you like Yucatecan food? And, those things. And did you come here by yourself? Are you exploring by yourself? And do you have a boyfriend? Is your family here? Did you come with any friends? No, you're here by yourself. And so all those things, like they'll ask all those things and they'll even ask your age, depending on who, what, where, they'll ask your age. And so from what I read, it is not Uber. It was another rideshare app. They were saying that women have been assaulted and molested um, as a result of giving out information, personal information, mainly stating that they were single and that they lived alone and those types of things, right? And so for me, moving forward, something that I would suggest is to put on your creative self when you get into some of these cars, even if it is an Uber, and just when you are asked, are you here by yourself? No. Um, I have tengo tres hermanos, I have three brothers, just something you can say to just make some stuff up. Novio is a boyfriend, novia is a girlfriend. So you can say, I have a boyfriend, you can say that we've been together for, today's años, 3 years. You can say some things, make some shit up, because at the end of the day, when you're talking, are you really? So when I'm talking, I am trying to give and, make sure that I'm using my Spanish, because that's when I get to use it, is when I'm out and I'm mingling with people, mingling even with an Uber driver or the cashier. Like that's my extent of using my Spanish. And then listening to see if I can pick up what you're saying. And so those are the things that really excite me. But at the end of the day, like, do you really have to say things that are true to you, especially because I'm telling you that it has been said that women have been assaulted and molested. So I don't want that to happen to any of my people who are listening and subscribe to my channel. So I'm telling you to make some shit up, right? You came here with your man. You got a whole ass family that's back and crammed into your apartment. Like shit, you just came out to get the breath of fresh air because the house is full. Like I don't make some stuff up, right? Make some stuff up. And so yeah, I'm just telling you, and just be safe, be safe. At the end of the day, when you get picked up, they either have your address when they pick you up or when they're dropping you off. So, they, while it can be in the app and the app goes away, like for real, if you've gone to La Isla or whatever mall you want to pick out any mall, or just say that you've been to Central, like the address can be in the app, but you're going to remember how to get there, right? You're going to remember, especially if I have asked you all these questions and I know you live by yourself. I'm gonna remember where your ass lives, right? As soon as you get out of the car, or as soon as something, 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 like I'm gonna jot down, okay, they were here and here, or they were at, such and such, such, because they know the area probably better than you. And they've been driving for I don't know how long. So they probably got your information. So just get creative, right? Don't test it, just get creative. When people ask you questions, unless you know them and you really trying to give good answers, put on creative mode, right? You better put on some alter ego. Like, right, when you start stepping out, put on your alter ego and start giving all the answers that that person has. Like, yeah, I want a companion. I don't think I want to be married. I don't know that married life is for me. I've never been married. I've never none of that. But I don't think married life is for me. So in my life, yeah, I got a man and he's X, Y, and Z tall. Like I just don't want to be 5'3". Shit, I don't want to be 5'4", 5'5" either. Like I can't be like, hey, I can't reach this on the shelf, and you sitting there like me either. What the hell is that? Okay, I'm getting off the topic. Okay, so let's go on to the last story. Let's get on to the last story. Okay, so the last story. This happened here in 2024, and it actually happened this week, right? It happened a few days ago. So I like to run the stores, right? I love to run the stores. Y'all, I have not used an Uber since I got here. I have been able to walk to the places that I want to go to, right? Everything is cool, and I do everything's within walking distance, like how it was at the condo. Everything was in walking distance. So, that I love that. I really love that. Um, almost got the Kool-Aid man smile. Oh yeah. Okay, for real. So I went to went to the store and I needed to get some drinks, bebidos. So I needed to get some drinks and I wanted to get some jugo en agua, so some juice and some water. My head, I wanted to get two juices, 100%, and dos aguas, so two waters. And so I got there and I'm in Oxo. So I got there and I'm looking, and I've been drinking these juices for the whole time. So I wanted something new, even though I knew Oxo didn't have anything new. But I was still looking and hoping, right? I came with this hope and I'm looking and hoping. And so I'm standing and I'm facing the refrigerator, right? So the jugos are in front of me, the juices are in front of me, and I'm looking and I'm like, let's make up a new juice. Why doesn't it just pop in front of me? And then two men walk in. This is no intuition, okay? Two men walk in and they're standing maybe two refrigerator doors down from me. One is facing the refrigerator door, the other is facing me directly. And so he's talking, but they're both whispering. And then after a while, the one that was facing the refrigerator door, they actually both turn and they're looking at me. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, I'm no longer getting two juices. I'm just going to get one juice. So I grabbed one juice. And before I could do anything, they walk in, they cut in front of me. No, excuse me, no permiso, no nothing. They just walk in front of me. And so I'm like, whatever. So I get the juice and I scoot down two doors because two doors down is about where the water is. And so they are still over there with the cervezas, the beers, which is kind of like in the corner. So they're there. And I'm like, let me just, mm-mm. I'm not having a good feeling because I know that they're whispering and I know that they're looking at me, right? It's like when you go, at least when I see people go get their nails done and they say that the people are speaking in a different language and talking about them. It's kind of like that, right? So I don't go get my nails done and I'm not going to. But so yeah, it was that where I didn't feel right. Okay. So instead of me getting the two waters or even looking like there's three brands of waters that I like from OXO, and I was looking to see if there were, I would normally look to see if there's a sale or anything like that because they be having some sales. I didn't do any of that. I opened up the refrigerator, grabbed the water, just, excuse me, a bottle of Cristal, and went to the line. But there was someone who was in front of me. There were two cashiers. Someone was in front of me and someone was with the other cashier. And so I had to wait. And then in front of me, he was like, adelante, which means next. It basically means come on. And so I went and I got up there. The men were now behind me. Okay. And so the other cashier, he got free. And so he was like, passe. And so the one of the two went to that cashier over there. And so he's at a cashier and I am at a cashier. And so I knew how much my stuff should be, but I grabbed something inadvertently again without looking at prices. And so instead of me having the money ready and giving him that money, I was like, that's not the right amount. So I needed to get the money back from him and I put it back in my thing and gave him a different bill. And so as I give him that bill, the cashier is giving me my change. I have my hand to get my change and the receipt. And as I have my hand out to get the change and the receipt, the man who was behind me, which was creeper number two, is now literally standing side by side with me. And he has put his items on the counter. Now, mind you, I am being served, right? So you know how close I am to the counter. So for this man to literally be standing side by side with me, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so my entire time being here in Mexico, I don't care what area I'm in, what neighborhood, I don't care what. People usually wait until you are done and then the next person is served, right? So I haven't ever had that experience where somebody's just standing right next to me. And when things like that happen, again, I may know some Spanish, but it's not going to come out as natural as my English words. And so I'm just like, I don't even know how to say, can you back the fuck up? Like, I don't know how to say any of that. Like, can you back up? Like, what are you doing? Can you wait? Like, I don't know any of those things, right? None of them. And so I'm just like feeling some kind of way. I end up taking the change because, like I said, as I'm taking the change, hand in change and receipt, the man already has his stuff on the counter standing right next to me. So I'm trying to get my change and hurry up and put it away, right? And so I'm putting my change away. And as you know, put my change away because I need to make sure it's going in the right spot because if it doesn't, it goes on the floor. So just making sure it goes in the right spot. As I look up, why in San Hale is his eyes looking exactly where my change is. So he's seeing all of my money. I'm like, and so I'm feeling some type of way. And again, the cashier, which I blame the cashier as well, all of these people are like getting on my freaking irritations. And so the cashier is literally actively ringing up this man's shit. My stuff is still on the counter. So now I grab my cell phone because again, I put everything on the counter. So I grab my cell phone, get the water, get the juice, and I have no pockets. So I don't have pockets. Like my pants don't have pockets. I don't have a purse, nothing. So yeah, usually my phone is in my hand and then I'll put my phone down because I don't want to put it under my armpit or nothing like that because if it falls, it's going to break. Like everything is tile and concrete around here. So yeah, neither here nor there. Don't tell me what I should and shouldn't have done. Okay. But it's on the counter. So I take it and take the phone and get my two juices. And at that time, just because of how that went. Like I knew I needed to get out immediately. Like I knew I needed to get out immediately because they've been talking about me since they got in, right? And I don't know that it would have been wise for me to have just left because then they weren't in line. They didn't have any transactions. They could have just followed me out, right? Without doing it. They could have just, so I felt like it was fine for me to get my purchase and everything. But when he saw my money is when I was like, I got to get out of here. And I didn't have a large amount of money on me, but it's just the fact that he was in my personal space like way too much. And you've already been talking about me. So I just felt some kind of way about that. Got my stuff, and the friend that was with the other cashier, he has finished his transaction and he's walking out the door. I am so close and on his heels, he doesn't realize that I'm behind him. He opens up the door, he goes outside. By the time he gets outside, I hear the cash register, the cashier that I was at, where the man that was standing side by side, I hear him tell him what his total is. And so I know that he now needs to produce this money, give it to him, wait for the exchange unless he gives exact change, which still means to me, I got time to get my ass out of there. So I got out. And by the time the dude got out and actually turned around, I was already across the street. The man who was leaving the cash register, I didn't turn around to see him. But what I did do is for all the cars that I was walking by and all the windows I was walking by, I was looking in those, to see if I saw any shadows or anything behind me, because I still needed to keep going forward, right? You need to be mindful that when you are in Merida, Mexico, you need to be looking at the sidewalk and, potential potholes and things that can trip your ass up and make you fall, right? So I'm looking forward. I'm not spending time looking backwards because for me to look back is going to slow me down. And I just got on back to where I was supposed to be, where I felt comfortable. And yeah, I did feel some kind of way, but I made sure that I let myself know that there was nothing that I could have done to prevent that situation. That wasn't even an intuition. Like the intuition was the part where it was just like, you gotta go. Like you gotta go and get out of here, like that kind of thing. And so I did get out and I did that. But the next time I needed to go to the store, I was like, should I go to that OXXO or should I go to a different OXXO or what should I do? But then I'm like, who the hell are they? Like, they're not going, I'm not doing any of that shit. And so I went back to the OXXO. I think I've been back like twice now. And yeah, no problems. I do stick to my normal, which is to go during the daytime. That time, it wasn't even, I'm not going to say that it was like dark 30. It might have been around sunset, but it wasn't dark 30. But here's the thing. I feel some kind of way if I get nervous about people, right? I could be nervous about animals coming out after a certain time, which that's what I did at the condo. Like at the condo, it was like, oh man, like this gonna be some certain shits coming out at, such a time. And so I feel some kind of way about that. So that's why I didn't like to leave at night, although I did leave at night and come back, a couple of times, even at the condo, because it was just animals that I would be like, more hesitant of, because I'm still trying to understand all of the animals. Like I know we have a lot of animals and creepy crawlies and things like that. And so you know, in the condo, I was like, I think I'm a max, right? Like I don't want to see these other things that I have already read and I know that they exist. I didn't want to see them, but I know that they exist. So yeah, I definitely don't want to feel like I have to avoid an area or avoid leaving at a certain time just to avoid a person or something like that. Like, right? Like that's not, to me, that's not living. And I would probably want to not be here if that was the case. So I did make sure that I went back to OXO and that I felt comfortable doing that. Like I didn't want to put some new fear in myself, right? So we're not trying to be up in here living in fear, right? Um, but even though I'm not trying to be up here living in fear, I still feel some kind of way about looking for a damn place as a single female. Like, that kind of thing. So yeah, if I had a man suit, I might put a man suit on it, but I'm not about to do that. Like, let me walk in my femininity. Thank you. I'm good. So yeah, but those are the things. Those are the things, guys. For me, that's the not so good about that I have experienced here in Merida, Mexico. The apartments, sorry, they weren't apartments, they were houses. The houses, yes, those were some shitty experiences. Um, one of them was just like a weird, creepy vibe, but the other one was just like, what the hell? But those even, um, I've already said to myself, I'm willing to put the budget up, which, I didn't have a budget. I was willing to do 11,000, just because, 10,000 got me two beds, one bath, but I was willing to do like 11,000, but now I'm willing to go up a little bit more. And because you already know, well, maybe you don't know, but for me, my housing is first, right? So I like to set my budget around my housing. So if I go somewhere, like say that it's the United States, if I go somewhere and the house is $2,000 USD, which was uh, probably cutting it short a little bit. But let's be a little bit more real. Let's say that the housing is like 2,300, right? So if the housing is 2,300, then I know the housing is 2,300. I know car is this. I know insurance is this. Then you wait a little bit for bills to come in to get a gauge on bills. You eat for a little bit like normal to gauge what the food pricing is going to be. And then I set a budget. Does that make sense? Like, I know that there are some people that are like, my budget is whatever their social security may be. Like, let's say their social security is 1,500, then that has to be their budget. That's not my case. That's not my case. My case is completely different. My case has always been what I just explained. I look for the housing first, meaning I have to be comfortable in the area and in the house that I'm in. And then from there, then we start building up our budget. And then I say what my budget is. And then I like to stay within that budget. So it can change from year to year, and I'm fine with that. So for this one coming up, I was like, okay, I need to increase my budget because I was going to, no matter what, be avoiding certain areas. Yeah, I'm that person. I know that there are people who are just like, you foreigners and you people, you keep coming here and you want to stay in certain areas. Fuck yeah, I'm one of them. Okay. So I'm going to be in certain areas and I'm going to need the house to look a certain way. And it's probably going to bother people, but that's what's comfortable for me. And then what that price is what I will pay. And then from there, then I'll have to go and figure out the food because it'll be food coming from someplace local, whatever their prices are, then do all of those things. And then that sets what my monthly is. And then I can do a video that's like, hey, I'm staying under, X, Y, and Z amount. Yeah, there are places that you can get for like way less, but am I comfortable in that? So when I got the condo was something I was comfortable in. You saw the pictures. If not, you can go and look and see the pictures. To me, it looked like it was something that was really nice. I'm a single person and, two bedrooms. I was cool. Like to me, it was fine, high ceilings. Like I didn't feel like anything was coming in on me, mostly white walls. So again, I felt like I was good. But yeah, who knew? So yeah, I have certain standards, and so yeah, if I need to increase the amount, then I will increase the amount and just set the budget from there. So yeah, I think that that's it. I just wanted to bring y'all up to speed on that. I'll probably do another update with y'all next week. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, then let me know. I do want to say this as well. Merida, Mexico, yes, it is one of the safest places and spaces. But keep this in mind. There are people all over the world who are also looking for a safe space, right? We don't all come with the same intention. So sometimes when you are looking for housing or going to the store or things like that, you may not be bumping into a local, right? You may not be bumping into someone that is looking or caring that you were looking for a safe space, right? So, just keep those things in mind, right? And um, if you have the ability and you are sensitive enough to hear from your intuition, then definitely listen, because that has been my thing for the whole freaking year so far, last year and this year. So I'm working on it, but I really do have great news that I'll be sharing later and all that jazz task. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, put in the comment section, keep your shenanigans to yourself. And I will say this, um, what you see is what you get, right? This is me, okay? This is me. I don't try to hide who I am. I don't try to hide any flaws. I don't do any of those things. So this is me. Um, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And I'll chat with y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye, y'all.